The horse must answer when the rider asks for forward energy, so that the rider can teach the horse to bring its fine hind legs further under the body. This is the source of changing the balance. However, we have to ask ourselves honestly, when I ask for forward energy, does my horse answer? Does my horse give it to me in a calm and measured way? Is the horse reluctant? Or the opposite, is the horse really charging? If the water is gushing out the end of the hose, or the horse is rushing around, it doesn't mean we're developing carrying power, which is the kind of power that helps us change the balance. This is what Howard Podolsky, director of the Spanish Riding School, meant when he said, impulsion is not the wind in the rider's hair. Impulsion involves some carrying power. So there's a difference between engagement, which is the hind legs coming under, and carrying power. And that's what we're going to talk about for a minute. It's probably one of the most important things in regards to throughness and actually shifting balance. So race horses have tremendous engagement because their hind legs come so far under their body in the gallop stride, right? Or imagine National Geographic used to have these amazing pictures of cheetahs in full stride, and the cheetahs look like they're almost folded in half, right? Their hind legs are like in front of their chin, right? Again, amazing engagement. However, all of that power that's been generated is generated as thrust or just forward energy. It's very useful for speed, but it's not really useful for dressage, because in dressage we want to develop carrying power and weight shifting. So sometimes people are riding really actively forward and they're thinking, I'm driving those hind legs under. But what they're doing is they're just generating thrust. They're just going forward. So they're not ultimately developing the carrying muscles in the horse. So it's important that the rider be aware of the difference between developing engagement that leads to a shift of balance, or if you're only developing thrust, which often can happen if you ride a little too much in long and low posture. So if you're kind of letting your horse stretch again, because that's when you feel the stride lengthen and the frame lengthen, and the horse is going more forward, it seems to be taking bigger strides, but again, the balance is shifted a little onto the forehand, and the horse, to further understand the difference between thrust and carrying power, imagine a horse in passage. Like we just had the Olympics this summer, I don't know if any of you watched it, but you can imagine the horses in a highly cadenced, prancing trot. It's been called the least efficient gait if you actually want to go anywhere, because it uses a tremendous amount of energy and you're not going forward. Okay, so that's carrying power, right? We've taken the energy and we've sent it up instead of forward. Okay, now imagine that horse now goes across the diagonal in the big extended trot. The long, powerful stride of the extended trot, the horse is moving far more forward than up, right? Usually it looks very, very smooth, like a boat sailing across calm water. So that's all thrust, right? That's the opposite of